Long before satellites and computer models, there was a much older, subtler way to predict the weather. One that existed in the quiet spaces between the wind and the grass, in the gentle rustle of leaves and the shifting patterns of sunlight. This ancient method was not written in code or measured by machines, but instead it was woven into the very fabric of the natural world. It required no technology at all, just patience, keen observation, and a willingness to listen to the world around us. For countless generations, people relied on these natural cues, trusting the wisdom of the land and the silent messages carried by the wind. It's the language of plants, spoken in gestures rather than words. Every subtle movement, a leaf trembling, a flower turning, can be a sign, a message from the earth itself. Plants communicate not with voices, but with actions, and those actions tell a story about the world they inhabit. For millennia, plants have been the planet's original meteorologists, quietly signaling atmospheric changes to those who know how to watch. Their leaves, stems, and flowers respond to the slightest shifts in temperature, humidity, and pressure, offering a living forecast that predates any human invention. Imagine a quiet meadow, bathed in golden sunlight, alive with the hum of insects and the gentle sway of wildflowers. To us, it's just a beautiful day, a peaceful escape from the rush of modern life. But to plants, it's a world of information, a constant stream of signals about what's happening in the sky above and the soil below. Plants sense drops in air pressure and rises in humidity, early warnings of storms long before we notice. Their roots and leaves are finely tuned instruments, detecting changes that escape even our most sensitive technology. When the air grows heavy and the sky darkens, plants are already preparing for what's to come. These responses aren't choices, they're survival instincts, refined over millions of years. Through countless cycles of drought and flood, heat and cold, plants have learned to adapt, to anticipate, and to endure. Their ability to read the weather is not just remarkable, it's essential to their survival. When a storm approaches, some flowers close their petals to protect delicate pollen, while others adjust their leaves to conserve water or brace against the wind. Certain plants even release scents to warn their neighbors or attract helpful insects. Each action is a carefully honed response, a way of preparing for the challenges ahead. These actions create a visible, reliable forecast for all creatures, including us. Animals, too, have learned to read these signs. Birds may seek shelter, insects may burrow deeper, and even humans once would heed the warnings written in the wild. In our modern world, we often overlook these signals, relying on apps and screens instead. We check our phones for updates, forgetting that the world outside is full of its own alerts, if only we remember how to see them. Yet the wisdom of plants remains as relevant as ever. These ancient beings have survived countless changes, outlasting empires and eras, quietly thriving in the background of our busy lives. Their knowledge is a living legacy, waiting to be rediscovered. By relearning to read these signs, we gain practical tools and reconnect with the web of life. Observing how a leaf curls or a flower closes can teach us about the coming weather, but it also reminds us of our place in nature's grand design. It's a chance to slow down, to notice, and to appreciate the intricate connections that sustain us all. The whispers of the wild are still there, waiting for us to notice. In the rustle of the trees, the song of the birds, and the quiet resilience of the plants, nature continues to speak, softly, patiently, and always with purpose. Nature's forecast is always available, if we pay attention. Let's listen, and let the wild teach us once again how to see, feel, and understand the world around us. Imagine a time before instant weather updates, before satellites, radar, or even the daily newspaper. Back then, the only forecast came from the world right outside your door, and every day was a lesson in survival and adaptation. When survival depended on reading the land, people became experts at noticing the smallest changes. The feel of the soil, the scent of the air, and the way dew clung to the grass at dawn all offered clues about what the day might bring. Our ancestors watched the sky, animals, and, most reliably, the plants. They learned to read the subtle language of nature passed down through generations as a way to predict storms, droughts, and the changing seasons. The forest was their library, each plant a book of weather wisdom. Every tree, flower, and blade of grass held secrets, if you knew how to listen. The rustle of leaves, the color of moss, and the timing of blossoms all told stories about the world. Generations learned that clover folding its leaves meant rain, a simple sign that could save a harvest or a journey. These observations were tested and retested, becoming trusted guides for daily life. Or that seaweed's color signaled moisture. Hung outside cottages, seaweed would turn damp and dark before a storm, warning fishermen and farmers alike to prepare for wet weather. This wasn't superstition, it was practical science, born from close observation and careful record-keeping. Nature journals filled with notes, sketches, and family wisdom became treasured guides. Farmers watched tree leaves to time their planting. The first flush of green, or the way leaves curled in the wind, could mean the difference between feast and famine. Sailors checked pine cones before setting sail, knowing that open cones meant dry weather, while closed ones warned of coming rain and rough seas. This connection was both practical and spiritual, fostering respect for nature's cycles. People honored the land, understanding that their lives were woven into the rhythms of the earth. Today we call this study phenology, a modern term for ancient knowledge. Scientists now track the timing of natural events, just as our ancestors did, to understand how climate and ecosystems are changing. Scientists now study these plant behaviors to understand climate and change. By measuring leaf moisture, tracking bloom times, and observing plant responses, they uncover patterns that help us prepare for the future. After centuries of relying on machines, we're rediscovering the value of traditional ecological wisdom. The old ways and new science are coming together, reminding us that technology and tradition can work hand in hand. Plants remain the original, resilient meteorologists. Their quiet signals, folding leaves, changing colors, subtle movements, still offer guidance if we take the time to notice. Their signals are as relevant now as ever, especially as we face new environmental challenges. By tuning in to these ancient cues, we can reconnect with the world around us. We just need to look and remember that nature's wisdom is always within reach, waiting to be rediscovered. How do plants sense a storm hours before it arrives? They're incredibly sensitive to humidity and air pressure. Rising humidity before rain is detected by their leaves and petals long before we feel it. This early warning lets them protect pollen and delicate structures from damage. Air pressure is another cue. Plants respond to drops in pressure, signaling storms. While we might get a headache, plants act as living barometers. These responses aren't conscious, but automatic, shaped by evolution. Plants that protected themselves survived and passed on these traits. Today, we can observe these weather-predicting behaviors in action. Nature's design is both subtle and powerful. Some flowers close their petals before rain, a charming, reliable forecast. Wood sorrel folds its petals as humidity rises, protecting its pollen. Dandelions close up tightly, keeping seeds dry for later dispersal. Even tulips and morning glories close their blooms when rain is coming. This movement, called nyctinasty, is triggered by humidity and light changes. Special cells at the base of petals cause them to open or close. When rain threatens, petals close, sheltering the flower's vital parts. It's a simple, elegant dance between plant and weather. Watch for closing flowers, they're nature's rain alert. Before a storm, have you noticed the air smells stronger, earthier? As humidity rises, plants release more scent molecules into the air. Moist air traps these scents, making them more noticeable. This intensified aroma is a final call to pollinators before rain. It's a clever strategy. Plants attract insects for one last visit. Next time you smell that rich pre-storm fragrance, know it's a natural weather alert. Nature forecasts with scent as well as sight. Leaves aren't static, they move in response to weather. Before rain, trees like silver maple and poplar show their pale undersides as leaves twist in rising humidity and wind. This isn't just folklore, it's a real, observable sign. Some plants angle leaves vertically to reduce rain damage. Others fold or curl leaves to conserve water and heat. By learning these postures, you can read the weather in your local plants. The landscape is always speaking if you know how to look. The pine cone is nature's barometer. When air is dry, pine cones open, releasing seeds. As humidity rises, they close tightly to protect seeds from moisture. This simple mechanism is a perfect passive weather indicator. Place a pine cone on your windowsill. Open means fair weather, closed means rain is coming. It's a fun, hands-on way to observe nature's forecasting. The pine cone's design is a marvel of efficiency. Sometimes the best tools are the oldest. With all our technology, why learn these ancient signs? Because observing plants connects us to our environment in a way screens can't. It sharpens our senses and deepens our curiosity. For hikers, gardeners, and farmers, these signs offer real-time local forecasts. Apps give probabilities, plants give immediate confirmation. Most importantly, learning from plants fosters respect for nature's complexity. They're not just scenery, they're active, adaptive, and wise. By listening, we become better stewards of the world. Plants offer a window into ancient knowledge, speaking in silent signals. Their language is subtle, woven into the fabric of the world around us. Every leaf, every petal, every tendril reaching for the sun is a message from the past, a story of survival and adaptation. If we pause and truly look, we can sense the wisdom that has shaped life on Earth for millions of years. Their movements and scents are masterclasses in adaptation and design. Sunflowers track the arc of the sun, maximizing their energy. Jasmine releases its fragrance at dusk, inviting pollinators when the air is cool. These are not random acts, but carefully tuned responses to the world, owned by countless generations. By learning to read these signs, we gain more than weather predictions. We gain insight into life itself. We begin to understand the delicate balance that sustains ecosystems and our own place within them. Observing plants teaches us patience, curiosity, and respect for the interconnectedness of all living things. Next time you're outside, notice the leaves, the flowers, the way they respond to sunlight and rain. Watch how they move with the wind, how they open and close, how they reach for what they need. Breathe in the scent in the air and let it remind you of the invisible exchanges happening all around. Plants releasing oxygen, drawing in carbon dioxide, shaping the very air we breathe. These are messages, not just details. Each drop of dew, each rustle of grass, is a part of a larger conversation between the earth and its inhabitants. The practice of observation costs nothing, but the rewards are immense. It opens our eyes to beauty and wonder, and invites us to slow down and appreciate the present moment. It enriches our experience and deepens our connection to the planet. In these quiet moments, we find a sense of belonging, a reminder that we are part of something much greater than ourselves. Plants are always communicating, always telling their story. Their growth, their resilience, their quiet persistence, all are lessons waiting to be discovered. All we need to do is listen. When we open our senses, we become part of the ongoing dialogue of life. In their silent movements, we rediscover a connection both ancient and essential, a bond that grounds us, inspires us, and fills us with wonder.